All right, good morning, everybody. Good morning, everybody. How's everyone doing today? All right, glad you guys made it in. Every single morning there's an issue. Don, yeah, I used to open the room 10 minutes earlier. Maybe I'll start doing that again as soon as I can, but it seems like I need every extra second. YouTube now caused me to jump through all kinds of hoops to get in today. I don't know why. What a pain. Kept having to re-change my password. Then I'd do it, and it made me do it again and again, and I couldn't get through it. I think there was a cache issue. I don't know what it was. Anyway, figured out a workaround, and here I am. All right, so just a quick recap on what's happening so far this morning. Our pound Aussie with our trade today just missed a really nice trade, unfortunately, because it was 15 minutes early. And there was no way to get in. By the time we started at 8:30, it had already kind of moved down. It can't get more perfect than that. Look at target 4. Oh well. All right, so we're just waiting now. Waiting for the first trade. And as more and more people arrive, good morning, good morning. John, Brett, Mike, Don, nice to see you guys. Hope you had a nice weekend. Crude oil. Well, this one looks pretty good. This one came down and hit targets 1 and 2 for 16 ticks to the first target, $160 a contract, target 2. And this has just been doing great. Crude oil trading up in the $65, $66 a barrel range has really opened up the size of our trades, and I don't know if you guys have noticed, but it just seems like to me the consistency has really taken a jump upwards, even beyond what it was with crude oil trading up higher. And then unleaded gas too. So really nice start to the morning so far with our energies, unleaded. 2 nice sized targets, 48 ticks, 75 ticks, and then stopping out. 1 and done. All right, so now the markets have already opened, so maybe this will be a short session. The YM, that was probably too fast to grab. Let me know if any of you grabbed it, but it seems like after 7 seconds, it was already through the entry and down, and I'm guessing that was just untradeable. And the E-minis have been rather fast when the market's open. And then the blue trade, this is an optional trade, not really part of the original trade plan, but we show it because it tends to be pretty good. And at this point in time, it's under some pressure here, but that was short from 567. With a stop at 606, and target 1 is 536 and target 2 is 520. So let's see if that one ends up working out. Notice how you have your action, reaction into the blue line, and subsequent action, another reaction into the blue line, and this is a pretty bearish. 1 second, guys. All right, sorry guys. Got some tech support and they called me right at the wrong time here. All right, so what I was saying is how the blue line or 20 SMA is a great place to mark pullbacks, and the where reaction moves tend to finish and set up subsequent action moves, although this might be not much of an action move. As you can see, it didn't really make a new low here, but we'll see it's still working. And then this kind of bar that spikes up where I put these three arrows with the tail and then closing red and down, that's a good sign. I mean, that typically shows a nice end to the reaction. That's a pretty bearish bar. So when you see that, the odds of the market going lower with another action move are pretty good. That's the kind of bar you want to see as a pullback. So just price action in general. And when you have a spotlight or a counterpunch trade that kind of lines up with that, that's typically a good sign. I think the odds are good. It's still got to break and make new lows here. You can see the 50 moving average is a real test area. It looks like it may want to come down and grab that 200 moving average and just push through. See that? So first trade of the morning that was tradable off this blue setup on the YM, also hitting its first target objective. 31 points, $155 a contract, and still going. And the stop is now at 561. 561. You hide it above the 20 SMA and put it at 564. Although it didn't get through to 61 yet, but always a good idea to hide it. Now you could put it at 61. And that key level of 60 holding the price, and let's see if it pushes the target too. It looks like it's almost ready to do so. Missed by one tick. And the stop just moved lower to 5-1. Not bad, guys. Hopefully you're following along, and you got a subsequent bearish bars that came up and tested those lines again with the wick and then the closing down, stabbing through, closing down. Okay, it just stopped out. Stopped out at 5-1, and the YM is one and done. Very active and lively market this morning. And the first trade on the pound Aussie showing up here at 8034, and you can maybe make an argument to go all the way down to 3-1. That's pretty big adjustment, but you want to get through this level here. That's a tough call. Definitely 8034, unless you decide to adjust down to 3-1, which is a large adjustment. I'm not sure I would make such a large adjustment, and it already kind of triggered into 3-4 anyway. There it is. See if it can break through support here. You can see in the data window that's targeting 8020, 8010, 8001, 7992, and the stop is at 8058. So remember to account for spread on that. You don't put your stop at 8058. Put your stop in at 8060 if there's a 2-pip spread, which is pretty normal if you've got the good pricing with your broker. Always account for spread on the exit. So you got to account for spread on the targets also. Put those targets in 2 pips higher. So at target 1, instead of 8020, you put in 8022, for example. Unless you're using tools that do that for you. All right, guys. Sorry for the delay there. I was trying to get that trade placed. I don't think I got it placed in time, though, because of all my Google issues this morning and the restarts I had to do. But if you're in that trade, you're getting close to money management. Money management is at 8021. If it gets to 8021, you can move your stop to break even. So just looking at this chart with the 50 bending down, coming down pretty strong, the 20 has already crossed over, and you've had your action down and a reaction that was so weak it couldn't even get to the 20 SMA. Now pushing lower to a possible leg lower. This looks pretty good. Let's see if it can continue to follow through and get you to at least a risk-free position. And there you go. I mean, you're what? Half a tick away, half a pip away, less than half a pip away. I'd be moving my stop to break even at that point. Don't want to split hairs. I think you've earned the right to get to risk-free on this. Tram futures have question about trade alerts. I have them working for new setups, but is there a way to have the alert work for when the stop changes? Well, as far as the alert work, I mean, you should be getting alerts when the stop changes. I mean, typically we're sending those out. I'm not sure I'm understanding the question. Maybe I'm not. Feel free to follow up. Trams futures. Oh, I understand. In Spotlight using TradeStation. Yeah, okay, so what I would do, that's a good question. There is a trick. All right, so first of all, target 1 was hit. So, one and done on Pound Aussie with the minimum target objective. Now let's see if we can make more. You'll see the big 4 pip adjustment to get through the floor here wasn't necessary, and that's why I don't like to make those big adjustments. So what I would do, Alan, is drop a horizontal line. Drop a horizontal line on your levels, whatever price level it is, and then configure the horizontal line to send you the alert. So if you wanted an alert at money management, you could drop it. Or let's say we want an alert if it gets a target 2. You drop the horizontal line like this, and then if you right click or double click, double left or right click, format horizontal line, you can go to the alerts tab, enable the alert, and set it any way you want. So I have mine set to send me a text message to my phone, which is a pain in the butt if I forget to take that off, because then I get all these text messages and sometimes I forget where it's coming from. But you don't have to set that as a default. But that's the way to do it. You can do a lot with the horizontal lines, and you can set alerts to other things too, but I just find the horizontal line to be so helpful, because the other thing is, like if you're swing trading, for example, you could put horizontal lines slightly in front of levels that you're interested in, so you get a heads up and a warning actually before it happens. So you could be creative, and you could always use more than one. Like you could set the whole trade up. You could have a horizontal line at the stop, the money management when you first start, or even even if you have a setup bar let's say this is any old chart, even a day swing trade chart, daily chart or whatever. You could drop the horizontal line on the entry. Maybe it takes 5 or 6 days before it triggers in. So, you have to. The one thing you have to be aware of is that the trade could cancel before it triggers in. I'm not exactly sure how to alert for that. That's a little bit tricky. I might actually, when I come out with my newest strategy, which is going to happen sometime this year, hopefully. No guarantees, but hopefully. I'm going to talk about some, or at least explore some other innovations, like what you just asked. We'll see if it's possible. I don't know. It's like the charting platforms we use have not really kept up with technology, unfortunately. They're not as good as the technology that's available. TradeStation's still a 32-bit program, should be 64 by now. There's just, things grind slow. It's almost like, come on, the Pony Express went out 150 years ago, and some companies are still like the U.S. government. Don't get me started. All right. Anyway. Alan, trade alerts, this is to Alan Kingdom's benefit. Trade alerts, when you start realizing what they can do, you start using them, and at first it's like, oh, this is pretty cool. And you start putting them on here and putting them on there, and you got them on everywhere, and the next thing you know, your trade desk sounds like an old-fashioned arcade with all the video games and the bings and the bongs and the sound effects and the sirens, all going off all at the same time, and eventually you turn them off and you don't use them anymore. That's the typical cycle of trade alerts. And you go through it. I don't know anyone that hasn't gone through that that cycle. I know I have. And then you start thinking, well, if I'm selective with my alerts, and that helps, but you got to think it through. And that's kind of why I like the horizontal line, because you could choose where and when and how for the most part. I'm not sure exactly how it works on NinjaTrader. All right, I got to give you my typical YouTube speech, so if you guys could please hit the like button. Thank you kindly. Really appreciate that. I also posted a video late last week. I don't know if you guys had a chance to see it, talking about reversal trades that I think might be helpful for some of you. I know the reversal trade is always like the hardest trade to take. And you're like, you hold your nose and swing the bat and try to take the reversal trade and hope for the best, and then it loses and it kills your confidence, and then the next time you don't take it, and then that's the big winner. And I know the cycle. I know what happens. I know all of that because I've been through it. I know a lot of you are like shaking your head, oh yeah, well that's happened to me too. There are ways to improve your reversal trades, and then there are things that you just can't. It's that V-shaped reversal, that's the wild card. And Spotlight is so good at catching them when they happen. And those tend to be the most profitable because a V is like straight up, right? Or straight down. So those are the ones that are the hardest to take and the ones you don't want to miss. So what do? I don't know about that. That's where trade planning comes in. That's where you do your foundational work, you do your back testing, you build the log of trades, you realize some trades lose, and in the end, when you filter through all your wins and losses, are you positive? Are you making enough money on an average per trade basis when you count all wins and losses? Because if that's the case, then don't even worry about what happens. You just take the next trade, it's the trade plan trade. Sometimes you get into drawdown, but then the winners come pouring in. Remember, the best trades follow the worst. I know we've had a tough go at it with the pound Aussie these last, kind of since the year started. Maybe even a little before. But we've seen it before. It's happened before. And then it breaks out and goes on the wicked win streaks. That happens too. We don't know when that'll start. And those that are still standing will benefit from it. And those that aren't will wish they were. That's basically how all trading is. So there you go. Does anyone have any questions so far about what's happened? If you're just joining us this morning, good morning again. We're already one and done hitting our trade plan goals with crude oil, unleaded, the Dow E-mini, pound Aussie. What else do we do? I need to come up with some other charts to have to follow, and I'm going to add a there's a chart that I told you last week I'm going to do a live fast testing session on YouTube where you guys can kind of look over my shoulder as I fast test a chart. So I'm going to go ahead and spill the beans on this one, and we'll start following it in here now, not as a fast test, but just as a getting used to. We're going to start, I'm going to cover up the Russell E-mini. That's kind of wasted space right now. I haven't been following the Russell E-mini for quite some time. We've got a lot of Forex traders in here, and I think another Forex trade plan will be very beneficial. So this is the chart I had in mind, and right now it's just, look and see, but I'm going to fast test this. A lot of you want to know how I do it, so I'm going to fast test it on YouTube, and you guys can just kind of hang out and watch and ask questions and whatever. And I'm going to do that, I hope, this week. I'm going to try. But let's just say today was our start of our fast test, just for the fun of it. And it's going to be at 8:30. It's going to be the same start time, same everything, because we're already at our desks. We're already trading. And so this short trade here is too soon. 8:30 happens. This is the first trade. Well, that's going to go in the win column. Got to its first target objective that's 10 pips or more. I'm not going to change anything. Same rule. And, does that count as a target 2 winner? It almost hit target 2. Target 2 is 129.24. So, no, it just barely missed by 0.4 of a pip. Now, here's another technique. If you miss a nice target by a fraction, like one of the things I like to do is count to 3 and mark it out. Not the whole trade, just this position. I'm willing to take profit right a little bit below if I get filled and get the lion's share of that move, because I realize that the strategy is so dynamic, it's tuned to market conditions, and if it, how did it know to put target 2 there? Forex trades in increments of tenths of a pip now, and when you miss by barely, that's I'm an old rock and roll drummer. That's close enough for rock and roll to me. I'm going to take profit on that. I don't want to penalize myself and watch it come all the way down and stop out down here. I got the rest of my position to stop out down here. I want this percentage of my position getting most of the profit. You guys with me on that? That's part of the 5% art to trading. But the thing is that you need to have a method that you use and practice it and get really good at it, and then just do it the same way each and every time. Then you can get measurable results to see. And maybe 6 months from now you change your method based on experience, which is fine. Nothing wrong with that. But so you guys may remember, if you've been with me for a long time, that the euro-yen has been one of those Forex charts we used to follow all the time. And then it just really dried up. And I think it's come back alive again. So we're going to fast test this plan over time. I'll do it on YouTube Live. You guys can watch, and we'll see if it's worthy to join our Trade-A-Day service, because that's one of the ideas. Now, there's some other plans I'm going to be adding to the Trade-A-Day service also that I'm really excited about. So we're just working with Martin over there at FX Synergy on a tool that literally grabs the trade from TradeStation and pops it in to where we need it so that we can send it out to you fast. And that's what will be required to add more trade plans. And then if you guys have the tool that you can copy it from Discord and pop it in fast to the entry tool, the rapid fire entry tool, then you guys will be able to handle more than one trade plan as well. That's the idea. I think that's my thinking. By the way, Target 2 was at 80. It was at 80.10, and it touched 80.10 in 2 ticks. It missed by 2 ticks. Again, one of those perfect targets. It's too perfect, and that's what I'm saying. Don't wait for it to come all the way up and stop you out. The stop should be at 26, by the way, not 25. Adjusting around the key level. But I'd be marketing out 25% or 20% of my position here when I barely miss. Now that doesn't mean that your broker barely missed. It's possible you put your target in 2 pips higher at 80.12, and if you got the good pricing, the pip is less than 2. The spread is less than 2 pips, and you would have been filled anyway. But anyway, it just stopped out, and that's it. Trade a day delivered this morning. Would have been nice for something larger, but that's all she wrote. It did pop up to 26, so all done. One and done. It's a one and done Monday. Alan, I'm sorry, I missed the context of your comment. You said you've been doing that on your fast testing. First of all, I'm happy you're fast testing. Of course, I know you are because you and I have been in conversations. But I'm glad you're letting everyone know you are. But what are you referring to when you just mark it out really fast? If you just yeah, okay. Really, it only matters on your first appropriate target, right? Because then it's a winning session anyway. If you're fast testing, I think where it really makes a difference, though, is when you start populating your UTA spreadsheet and building the trade plan with all the positions, and then you need something, you need a method. So when I'm doing the spreadsheet, for example, and by the way, look how it did come up and actually hit the target right there. So sometimes maybe, you could just say, nope, I'm just going to be patient and make it hit exactly every time. I mean, that is an option, and it's a viable one. It's probably the easiest one to test. Another idea is that if you barely miss a target, you have a stop on the prior target for that position only, or you do it mentally. But the problem with that idea is that it usually does come down and hit the prior target and can still go up and hit the full target. So, I mean, I don't know if that's my favorite option either. I kind of like the marketing out when you barely miss, or just being patient and letting it hit it all together. But, that would have worked in this example. But with the pound Aussie, it wouldn't have worked. With the pound Aussie, you miss by 0.2 of a pip, and if you're not marketing out really fast, you're stopping out with the trailer 16 pips higher, and then 17 or 18 pips with spread. That's a lot to give back. So it just, there's nothing perfect except the target. Man. Too perfect's no good. You want it to overshoot the target a tiny bit, right? Let me know if you got filled at target 2. I mean, if you had your order in with the spread being accounted for using a different broker, it's possible that those quotes, those targets got hit, and you already got the full benefit of the target. If that's you, let me know. I'm curious to see who did get it. So we have another Forex chart. We're going to start doing it in the trade room going forward. And I'll do another YouTube session. I'll send it out. So make sure that you've subscribed and you've hit the notification button so that if and when I go live, which I may do just spontaneously, you'll get a notification, and if you could join us, great. If not, you can see the replay, or perhaps I'll do it a second time with another chart. Sounds like fun, actually. I mean, I'm going to be doing the work anyway, so I may as well go live and let you guys benefit from it. Kind of see how I do it. So this is a really productive start to the morning. I'm not exactly sure what more we have to do today other than any questions that you guys may need me to answer. So feel free to type in any questions you may have. We may just end up finishing because I'm not just going to walk on my treadmill here and talk for the sake of talking. You guys have heard my voice enough. Again, if you're just joining us, please don't forget to hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe to the Backpack Trader YouTube channel. Click the notification button so that you are notified when we go live. John says trading my NT chart with the Wanda data, hit target 2 and stopped out 82.3 plus. Yeah, okay, good. So you were able to get full target 2, and that's what I suspected because we're only guesstimating a 2 pip target based on just a round number, but when you have, like with the Wanda, you can get the core plus commission pricing, and so you want that. You definitely want that. The commission is a sliding scale based on your position size. It's very, very inexpensive. They do ding you for a half a pip in and a half a pip out, but it's still less than the full spread you would be paying. So do it. Just do it. And John was able to get the full target too, so that's great. And I wasn't able to even take the trade because I'm on my treadmill here walking and talking to you guys, and well, that was a cost to me. My fault. But it wasn't really because of this trade room. It was more a function of things just, the Monday gremlins. I don't know why it always happens on Mondays. I wake up and turn on everything and nothing works. So YouTube and Google and their great wisdom, the big brother in the sky looking down, decided to just make me change everything, and then I had to do it over and over and over and over, and I got caught in a loop like a rat on a wheel and just couldn't get things going. Found a workaround. Luckily it worked. That's why I'm here. Otherwise we may have even missed today. It was starting to get really frustrating. Wasted like everything, all my time that I usually use in the morning to get everything I need done to get the room going. Yeah, anyway. Pain in the butt. So thank you for hitting the likes. I really appreciate it, guys, and I hope you enjoyed this session. Don't really see any other questions or comments, and I don't see any point in continuing to go blah, blah, blah. So I'm going to bid you all a goodbye. I hope you enjoyed the session. John will be back tomorrow, regular price, regular time, and he starts 10 minutes sooner. So he's on the East Coast. I'm not. I need those extra 10 minutes. I will try to start sooner if I can, ultimately, once I really get used to what we're doing here. But at this point, I need every single second, it seems, to get all set up and logged in. Always something goes wrong. Okay, I didn't know that. So next week, John will not be doing Tuesdays and Thursdays. So this week, 4 days, next week, you'll see me on Monday and Wednesday. So John's his own backpack trader in his own right. All right, guys. Any other questions? Last chance, last call. No questions about Counterpunch Express, for example. Give you a second to collect your thoughts. All right, well, if you do have any questions, you can type them into the comments, and I will answer them. I always answer the comments. Or you know how to reach me, troy@backpacktrader.com. And I will see you guys on Wednesday. Have a good one tomorrow with John, and everyone have a wonderful day.